In this video, I'm going to share with you the most basic secrets you need to know about trading bots. How I literally turned $500 into 5,000 bucks in just 4 trades. And yes, that's actually possible. And yes, you can do it too, but only if you meet certain conditions. And one more little note, not everyone will be able to repeat this, but for example, doubling or even tripling your deposit in just one day is totally doable. It's absolutely possible. We're talking about numbers like plus 100% or even plus 150, and that's without any major risks, but only if you follow a special methodology. So get comfortable, and let me share a few truly valuable secrets with you that will genuinely help take your trading to the next level. To start, I suggest we begin with 35%. Yeah, that's actually quite a big amount. In fact, it's almost 37%. That's $200. But today, I want to make the maximum profit possible and see what comes of it. I'm going to risk as much as I can, basically until the first loss. Although, with that mindset, let's do it this way. Let's go all in right away and bet $500. So basically, I won't have any room for error now. That's why we're going to fine-tune the bot as much as possible. Now we'll pick high-quality currency pairs and, accordingly, using this very risky approach, we'll try to reach a really big amount. But after watching this video, you'll be able to replicate this result. The first currency pair I'll choose is the British pound and Japanese yen. There's a good movement here. I'm selecting this currency pair and setting the trade time to 1 minute. I'm getting a buy signal. I'm opening a buy trade right from here. And a lot of people have asked what these values mean. Let's break them down in this video. Look, the RSI and CCI indicators are responsible for overbought and oversold conditions, or in other words, who is dominating right now, buyers or sellers. If the RSI value is above 50, it means that buyers are currently dominating. For CCI as well, if it's above 0.5, buyers are in control. We can even see this by adding the standard indicators on pocket option. And, accordingly, we see that we really have 2 indicators. For example, here we have the RSI indicator. This is the buyer's zone, so they are more dominant here. And this is the seller's zone. It's the same here. The higher the CCI indicator, the higher its value. The stronger the buyers are right now. The lower it is, the stronger the sellers are, accordingly. So these are 2 indicators that are read simultaneously. Yes, we specifically customized them for ourselves. We developed them for a long time and, accordingly, wrote them for our robot, for the booster bot. That's why these indicators show overbought and oversold conditions. Again, if the values here are high, then that means buyers are currently dominating. This is just one example. And also, when you open a screenshot, you can immediately see where the price is heading right now, up or down. In other words, the booster bot also analyzes the chart on a global scale. Alright, I suggest we open another trade with the booster bot, this time for $950. Yeah, really, today I'm going all in. Let's see how many such trades I can make. And for that, I'll need to pick profitable currency pairs. So I'll be choosing them very carefully, and it's better to skip some pairs and not open trades on them at all. The next currency pair I want to choose is the Australian dollar and Swiss franc for a 1-minute trade. We wait for a signal from the booster bot and get a signal to, right from here, we open a buy trade. And what do we see now? The RSI is currently showing a value of 65, and the CCI is showing 33. So here you can already see that. For example, the strength of the buyers isn't as strong anymore, right? The CCI is showing 33, but our RSI is still in the upper zone at 65. But our oscillator is showing a value of 97. That's a very high value. Yes, if you compare it with the standard indicator settings, or just with the indicators on TradingView and Pocket Option, these will be completely different indicators, because we developed both the oscillator and the RSI ourselves, using a slightly different formula. So our calculations are entirely independent. In other words, we're not tied to any formulas that existed before. So don't compare the values you see here on the stochastic or the oscillator with the ones the booster bot gives you here. So a value of 97 is really a very large number. 870 bucks land in my balance, and now I have $1,800. So with just 2 all-in trades, I made more than 3 times my money. Yeah, right now I could open another trade. For example, go all in with $1,820, and if I make a profit and don't lose my entire balance right now, then I'll keep a portion for myself and won't risk, for example, my initial deposit anymore. The stochastic actually shows us the direction of the trend, when the trend is really strong, and when we're likely to see a reversal. So all these values we have here, all these crossovers, they're showing us reversals right now. So you can be sure that the higher or lower the value, the more likely it is that a reversal is about to happen. That's why you also need to pay attention to these values. And as for the ADX, it's actually an indicator that also works based on the crossover of 3 lines. We specifically set it up as well, and it's made up of different moving averages. So here we have both moving averages and other calculated lines that also help to boost your bot. In other words, these indicators aren't just randomly included in the bot. And here, only 4 indicators are shown, and just one indicator that tells us the strength of the bulls or the bears. These are simply the main indicators that have been highlighted, but in the booster bot, there are 90 more indicators besides these values. And by the way, the higher the coefficient here, the more strongly the price will rise. Next, I choose the currency pair British pound / Canadian dollar. I select it in the booster bot and set the trade time to 1 minute. And by the way, I'll leave a link to this bot in the description, so if you're interested in getting a bot like this, which does all the analysis for you and all you have to do is follow its instructions, then check out the description. There you'll find a link to the AI Booster Bot's Telegram channel, as well as a link to the trading bot itself, where you'll find ready-made instructions. By the way, take a look. The bulls are really strong right now, which means we're about to see some serious upward movement. So once again, if you want to get this bot for yourself by just taking a couple of simple steps, follow the link in the description and activate this money-making machine. All you have to do is copy its signal and open a trade in the right direction. An excellent third trade has already brought me 1,300 bucks. Just think about it. I've increased my deposit 6-fold in just 3 trades. Yeah, of course, I went all in. Sure, some people might say it's just luck, but that's not really the case. The booster bot has really solid stats, and our team is proud of that. For beginner traders, its success rate is about 70%. For those who already have some experience, it's between 80 and 90% of profitable trades. And that's all with the booster bot. So, if you want to level up your trading and earn money almost automatically, yeah, unfortunately not in 100% of cases, then once again, this is a really good chance to click the link in the description right now and activate this bot. Now, I want to open a trade for $2,500. That way, I'll keep 600 bucks on my balance, and if anything happens, I won't be too worried about losing them. The next currency pair I want to choose is Euro, Swiss franc. I go to the booster bot and select this currency pair. The trade duration is 1 minute, and now I'm waiting for my signal. I get a buy signal, and I'll open a buy trade right from here. Let's watch this trade for a bit. By the way, I noticed that the bear strength here is really weak, but all the other indicators look pretty good. So basically, right now we can expect some solid growth. Again, these values just give you an idea of what's happening in the market, so you can stay alert in the moment. Yeah, if some of these parameters are really low, but the booster bot still gives you a buy signal, for example, that could mean a reversal is coming soon and you'll have time to make a profit for another minute. But for example, for 3 or 5 minutes, that won't work anymore. So yes, you can, of course, study or ask our managers what exactly these indicators mean. But I still recommend that you focus either on the volumes or on this chart. So if you see a strong upward movement and the booster bot gives you a buy signal, that means everything lines up. Yeah, sometimes there's sideways movement, which is better to skip. Basically, here you need to act according to the situation. Again, with a booster bot, as you can see, I increased my deposit 10-fold in just 4 trades. Honestly, that's just insane. In reality, it's very risky. I really don't recommend anyone do this. Yes, if you want to quickly grow your deposit, to significantly increase it, then please only work with 10 or at most 20% of your initial deposit. What I just showed is very risky. If you have any questions, I'll leave a link to our support account in the description. Write to our support, ask any question, and accordingly start working with us. To activate the robot, you need to follow the link in the description and complete a few simple steps. You'll get access to this robot. In short, I'll leave all the links in the description. Be sure to share in the comments what you think of this video. What do you think about this robot? Do you use it or not? But for now, I'll say goodbye and see you soon.